Monkey Man, starring Dev Patel and directed by Dev Patel. I think this is his directorial debut. I love Dev Patel. I'm a massive fan of his. I think I've seen almost everything. There's a few I haven't seen, but I love Green Knight. It's one of my faves. Definitely love the Marigold Hotel movies. Those are really fun to watch. I like The Man Who Knew Infinity. That was really good too. There's a lot of good ones. So pretty much he's always great. So I was really looking forward to this, and I'm pretty happy with the results. Let's talk about it using my SPACE system. So story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 and 2. 2 is the best that you can get in a category. The story, and there's going to be no spoilers. The storyline, I'm going to give it a 1.5 out of 2. It's a revenge picture. Dev Patel, this is not a spoiler. Dev Patel's mother is killed, and he wants revenge. In the process of getting this revenge, he does go up against corrupt police officers, politicians, even corrupt holy men. So a lot going on here. He teams up with some of the weirder parts of society. I don't want to say anything. This is one of these movies where you get a lot of really interesting characters. Sharlto Copley is in this, and he is just so memorable. He's only in like 3 scenes, and he's so memorable. We're going to get to the characters. But story is done well. It's generic. The reason I'm giving it 1.5 is that even though it sounds a bit generic and I'm not really hyping it up, it's done in a really nice way. And I think that it's almost like the way the movie is shot and told to you and presented makes the story better than what it was if I just told you the story. So it's a bit tough to explain, but you'll have to see the movie to understand. For the pacing, I'm going to give it a 1. It's 2 hours. I do think it was a little bit too long, especially in the middle. I wasn't bored or anything like that, but I feel that for what we ended up getting as the full story, this could have been told a little bit quicker. So that's where I am with the pacing. For the artistry, I'm actually going to give it a 2 out of 2. I was going to give it a 1.5, but I've gone back and forth in my mind since coming back from the theater. I'm going to go with 2. Dev Patel, this is his first movie that he's directed, I think, and it's just done really amazingly. It's very gritty. It's like beautiful in its ugliness, if that makes any sense. It's like dirty. The water's like yellow. There's like remember the Crow City of Angels? I don't know if if you remember that movie. That was dirty. I haven't seen a movie this dirty since Crow City of Angels. It's just mucky, but it's kind of amazingly shot. It's got some nice light to it. The reason I wasn't going to give it the full 2, I am giving it the full 2 points, but the reason I wasn't was that there's a lot of frantic action, and sometimes it's a bit zoomed in, and usually for me that's a killer, especially in an action picture. But as you're watching this movie, you kind of realize that this isn't just an action movie. I know it looked a little bit like John Wick. They even mentioned John Wick, which is hilarious that they even mention it. That's great. It's not really that at all, so you should probably not think about that when you're watching it. There are some great fights, and it is pretty exciting and pretty frantic, some of the scenes. There's a lot of like kind of even like high energy stuff, and I don't think it was shot in a way to hide the fact that they can't do the action, which is what I feel a lot of the times they do with this just kind of like zoomed in shaky cam. This was done more so you get the feel of being Dev Patel, and you get to see like what he's experiencing. So I think it was done for a purpose, not just to like hide the fact they can't shoot action, because when the action scenes are good, they're really damn good. So 2 out of 2 for the artistry, good music too. I like the visual style. Everything looks good. Characters, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 2. The villains are absolutely despicable pieces of garbage. You want to see them get beat up, and they do. Dev Patel to me is like super cool in every movie that he's in, even Last Airbender. I always like him. He looks very good in this movie. I just like his face looks cool to me. I don't know. I like the way his hair looks. It's a bit weird, but like I think he just looks cool. He's pretty muscular, good movements. He teams up with this kind of like underbelly of society. It's very interesting the way they've done it, and I really like those characters a lot too. And I don't want to get into this whole diversity thing or whatever, but they did it in such a way that actually makes the characters cool. and you're on their side. And I think it was done really well. You can look this up. I don't want to get into it, but it was done very well. Even like kind of his like he has like there's kind of a comedy relief guy. He's pretty good. There's like this lady who's kind of a total witch, and she's pretty awesome. Yeah, it was all handled very well. I don't know. I liked all the characters. The bad guys are bastards, right? So you definitely want to see them go down. So yeah, and the enjoyment factor, man. I mean, I think I have to give this a 2 out of 2. I kind of really enjoyed this movie a lot. I thought it was awesome. So I definitely think it was good. I definitely want to see it again. I definitely recommend watching it. I probably will get it on 4K, so I'm going to give it a 2 out of 2 for enjoyment factor. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. You could easily bump that up to a 9. Again, this is I just got home just out of the theater, so a lot of these kinds of movies I have to really kind of digest a little bit. This one is sort of an art house action movie. So there's a lot of kind of weird things that happen, which I don't want to say, like, you know, like Dev gets this kind of red mist and then something happens and you're like, ooh, this is interesting. So a lot of visual cool things that go on. I know I'm being a bit vague, but I don't want to do spoilers. I think you should check this out. Go see it in the theater. It was just nice to see a movie that was just a filmmaker's vision and not a vision of something that I love that I don't agree with the vision, you know, like, and this wasn't like a Marvel movie where they ruined all the characters and then I gotta sit there and be like, oh no, they ruined Namor, and then I gotta make a video why was Namor ruined, and you know, or like Dune, where I didn't like his interpretation of that book. I didn't like the way he presented that book. You know, a lot of people like that, but again, I just wanted to see a movie that was just its own thing. I didn't have to sit there and be like, oh, this is a remake, now I gotta watch the original and compare that, or you know, I've already seen the original and this isn't good. None of that. It was just a new movie done by a guy who wanted to present a story and tell his story and present a vision, and he did. So 8.5 out of 10. That rating could go up on further viewings, but that's where I'm at for now. If you like my space system, please like the video, consider subscribing, check out the rest of my stuff. Let me know in the comments what you thought of Monkey Man. That's it. Until next time.